Delivering ball one. He's had a couple of good innings, a couple of scoreless innings. Peter Borges will lead things off here in third. And we're very happy to have here with the busy travel time this weekend, Lieutenant Eric Roeske of the Minnesota State Patrol. He's the public information officer. Here's a one-hopper to Morneau, one away. And Lieutenant, as I was coming into the ballpark earlier today from the northwest, columns of cars heading out. It's a very, very busy weekend for holiday travel, isn't it?
Well, it's supposed to be the first busy weekend of the summer, although it's not very summer-like.
Right.
But we still see a lot of people traveling this weekend, and we're just trying to remind them to use common sense and be safe out there.
And one of the big things is buckle your seatbelt, right?
Absolutely. We see way too many people killed every year because they're not wearing their seatbelt and seriously injured. So they're just trying to get a reminder out there to wear that seatbelt and use common sense.
Now the highway patrol, the state parole, parole. If you end up, that's where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
But the state patrol, Lieutenant, I mean, you guys use extra men, and there's a lot of you out there now for this weekend.
Yes, we will have additional troopers out. There'll also be city police officers, deputies, and really our goal is for everybody to get where they're going, enjoy the weekend, and come home safely.
I saw something today, and I won't say where, but there was a warning sign that seatbelts and their use being checked in a particular part of a highway. I don't know that I'd ever seen that before. Are there many of those around just to remind people to buckle up?
It is, and
you got to look, Dick. They're all over the place.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a lot of them out this weekend, and again, it's a reminder to people to buckle up. Our goal is not to write tickets. We'd rather see everybody wearing their seatbelt, so we don't have to stop them for that.
All right, let me ask you, Lieutenant. Cell phones. People are texting and driving and driving. Do you think they can do all that and still drive, fast?
Well, that's part of the problem is those distractions that get inside the vehicle. They take your mind off the road, and what happens is you find yourself in a crash, hurt, or in some serious situations, killed.
We're just showing right there, historically, Memorial Day weekend is amongst the deadliest weekends of the year.
It is, unfortunately.
Be safe out there, please.
And that's why we're here tonight, to try to remind people of that, because we don't want this weekend to be one of those.
2 down, and here is Eric Ibar, and there is ball one. And driving in today with seeing all the traffic coming out of the metro area, I thought, well, that in and of itself, with the congestion on the freeways, has got to create some driving hazards as well. What advice would you give people who find themselves, instead of going 65 down the highway, whatever the speed limit might be, now you've got more cars and people are going 30 miles per hour instead?
Right. It really is a reminder of folks that if you're traveling this weekend with all the traffic on the road, plan for extra time, plan for delays, and you won't find yourself in a hurry pushing the envelope a bit.
Right. If you're 5 minutes late, big deal.
Right. If you're going to the cabin to relax, so what if you're there a half hour later?
When I went through driver's ed a long, long time ago, the rule of thumb was 1 car length for every 10 miles per hour on the speed. Is that still the rule of thumb?
Well, actually, what we use is the 3-second rule now, because car lengths and speed is a little tough to judge. So if you think about being 3 seconds behind the vehicle you're following, then it'll give you time to react should something happen, crash or a slowdown because of that congestion.
1 and 2. And that's regardless of what speed you're going, right?
Right. Obviously, the higher speeds, the 3 seconds is going to be an increased distance, and the slower speeds, it might be a little bit.
If you're going
closer.
60 and the guy in front of you is going 50, Dick, you probably should back off a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Thanks, Bert.
You're welcome.
2 and 2 to Eric Ibar. And a foul back. And Baker now with 50 pitches thrown on the night.
Is it a good weekend for teens to, drive?
Well, any teen that's out there, they need to be aware that usually they're the least experienced drivers on the road. It might be the first time they're experiencing a holiday weekend travel period. So parents need to really keep an eye on them, remind them of the common sense driving tips that we tell people to follow.
Good.
A foul back. Baker struck out Ibar in the first inning on a 3-2 pitch. Got a high fastball by him. He's picked up a total of 4 strikeouts here in the 3rd inning, a couple of ground ball outs.
Now, I mentioned before texting and everything. It is illegal here in Minnesota to text and drive, right?
Yes, it's illegal to text and drive, read your email, be on the internet, all of that stuff.
Right.
Two-out single for Ibar, and that'll get Abreu to the plate. He had a similar at bat as Ibar's just completed at bat back in the 1st inning. Had a long duel with Baker, took some close pitches, fouled off some 2-strike pitches, and ended up with a sharp single to right.
And again, people are going to drink this weekend too, Lieutenant. I mean, it's going to happen.
Right.
People are going to get behind the wheel. Just use common sense, right?
Yeah, that's all we're asking people to do. We're not saying you can't have fun, you can't celebrate the weekend and enjoy the extra time off, but use common sense and don't get behind the wheel if you have had alcohol in your system or too much to drink.
Baker hits the outside corner. One strike to Abreu. Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven and Lieutenant Eric Roeske, Public Information Officer of the Minnesota State Patrol. And we're hoping that everybody has a safe holiday weekend. Lifted foul and out of play. You know, in my route to and from the ballpark, it seems like every year there's road construction. Yeah. And I know that's another hazard for people to be respectful of the fact that maybe not this weekend with a holiday weekend, but when road crews are out there and they're working on the roads, you simply have to back off your speed.
Right, and it's important for people to be aware of where those construction zones are and plan ahead, so when they see those zones they can slow down, because we want the workers to work in a safe environment as well.
And Baker strikes out Abreu. The 2-out singles left aboard, and we thank Lieutenant Eric Roeske for joining us here, and we hope everyone has a safe holiday weekend.
Lieutenant, thank you.
Thank you, guys.